Hi, it's John, and welcome to the channel. 4:42 a.m., Wednesday, September the 24th. I hope you're having a great start to your Wednesday morning. We need to make Donald Trump the king of the world. Or at least start listening to the man. And if you've got Trump Derangement Syndrome, I know you're watching. You're screaming at your screen right now. Stick around. I'm going to prove to you you're being manipulated. It's going to hurt, but you need to have your eyes opened, all right? By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. Just click on subscribe. I appreciate it. Why do we need to make Donald Trump the king of the world, or at least start listening to the man? Because he makes a lot of sense. I'm going to tie this in with a bunch of things that don't seem connected, but they are. And I'm going to show you how the Liberal Party of Canada uses you and manipulates you so they can justify everything that they do. Wait until you get the budget in November, folks. They are going to tell you it's $100 billion plus. They'll lie to you. It's going to be higher than they say, but they're going to blame it on Donald Trump. That's what they've been doing for months. I've been saying forever the Liberals like the tariffs because they can justify everything they do. It's all Donald Trump's fault, and you bought it and you voted for it. How does the media manipulate you in hating Donald Trump? We're going to get to Trump in just a moment. Some things he said over the last couple of days that make absolute sense. We need to start listening to the man. This story right here will prove to you you are being manipulated and how ridiculous you are for hating Donald Trump and listening to left-wing media. Open your eyes. This story right here from the White House. Fact, evidence suggests link between acetaminophen and autism. So this is basically Tylenol. So what does the New York Times run with? They run with this story. Trump issues warning based on unproven link between Tylenol and autism. So what do we get from the absolute Trump Derangement Syndrome infected people? We get this online. This is actually a thing. Democrats are now chugging bottles of Tylenol on TikTok. I can't play these videos. They've got music in them, and I'll get demonetized or get a copyright strike here. This woman is pregnant, and she's guzzling down and taking Tylenol because Donald Trump said it could cause autism. Here's another one right here. This is actually a thing right now. These people are infected with Trump Derangement Syndrome, that this is where we are right now. Look at this right here. This is absolutely true. If Trump said oxygen is good for you, 20 million Democrats would immediately stop breathing and suffocate themselves. Now, is what the White House said untrue? Well, here is Johns Hopkins University in November 2019, taking Tylenol during pregnancy associated with elevated risks for autism and ADHD. Here's Harvard. Using acetaminophen, Tylenol during pregnancy may increase children's autism and ADHD risk. Here's Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai study supports evidence that prenatal acetaminophen use may be linked to increased risk of autism and ADHD. But you're being told that Trump and RFK are nuts. But this is how you're manipulated. This is how it's done, folks. You need to open your eyes. How do we get to the Liberal government? Here's Mark Carney, this idiot right here. He needs a crisis, folks. I did a video on this ages ago. Carney needs a crisis. He needs the Donald Trump tariffs again to justify everything. Donald Trump is the symptom. The Liberal Party is the disease. All of this stuff didn't happen since the beginning of the year. They've been around since 2015. Carney needs a crisis. I could play the clips for you over and over again. I've played them so many times here. It makes me sick. Crisis, 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 crisis. People voted for him because you've been manipulated because of Donald Trump. He lives rent-free in your brain. Here's Carney now.
What's going on is not a transition. It's a rupture.
Not a crisis now, it's a rupture. And this whole speech is because of Donald Trump. All of the problems you've got in your country right now, and things are going to hell right now in your country, folks, things are not good, are caused by Donald Trump. That's what they do, and they justify everything because of Donald Trump. Wake up. Here's Carney at the UN. See this word on the screen right here? If I say this video won't get recommended to people. I'm getting throttled on YouTube right now when it comes to views. Other people are as well because we say things that they don't like. But here's Carney hitching his wagon to China because of what you're seeing on the screen here.
In my experience with China, they are, amongst other things, very sincere and engaged on climate.
This is what he is about right now. And this word that he just said, I'm going to say it again, climate. This is the reason why we can't have nice things in Canada anymore. I've been thinking about this for days. Somebody needs to call this BS out in Canada. Enough of it. I mean, even Danielle Smith plays into this. She's waiting out Carney for a pipeline because they want to bury carbon dioxide in the ground. That's where we are in this country. We can't have nice things because of climate. Everything goes to hell in this country because these people push this agenda. David Eby's not going to allow a pipeline out to the West Coast, folks. It ain't going to happen. Carney's going to promise Churchill, but we have hundreds of projects here. Meanwhile, you got Donald Trump at the UN. And right here, he's talking to the EU. But he might as well be talking to Canada and Mark Carney. God love this guy. Start listening to him. Here's what he had to say.
They must take control strongly and immediately of the unmitigated immigration disaster and the fake energy catastrophe before it's too late. The carbon footprint is a hoax made up by people with evil intentions, and they're heading down a path of total destruction. You know,
We're heading down a path of total destruction because people like Mark Carney are pushing this climate nonsense on it. And do not pay attention to the Wikipedia post underneath this video. They always put them there. It's caused by fossil fuels. Fossil fuels do not cause the climatic conditions that can kill you. They protect you from the climatic conditions that can kill you. When it hits minus 39 degrees here in February in Calgary, it's my furnace that's running on natural gas, the only thing that's keeping me from dying in about an hour. Now let me take you back. Donald Trump in 2018, talking to Germany. Now, Mark Carney's been over in Europe, hitching his wagon to Europe, which is an absolute nightmare right now, an absolute mess. Trump this year warning the EU to wake up. Stop with this climate nonsense and allowing millions of people into your country. He might as well be talking to Canada. Here he is talking to Germany. Look what happens at the end of this video when he's talking to Germany. You may have seen this.
Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course. Here in the Western Hemisphere, we are committed to maintaining our independence from the encroachment of expansionist foreign powers. It has been the formal policy of our country since President Monroe.
They're laughing at him. That's Germany laughing at him. He's scolding them for going down the path of green madness like Canada's going down right now. Now, here he is at the UN this year. Listen to what he says here now.
Europe, on the other hand, has a long way to go, with many countries being on the brink of destruction because of the green energy agenda. And I give a lot of credit to Germany. Germany was being led down a very sick path, both on immigration, by the way, and on energy. They were going green and they were going bankrupt. And the new leadership came in and they went back to where they were with fossil fuel and with nuclear.
Look, they're not laughing now because their economy is an absolute mess because they went down the road that Mark Carney is leading us right now. And he's going to justify again everything he does because of the man who's speaking here. We need to start listening to this guy. Here's Peter St. Onge, who talks about the economy every day. He's a PhD talking about Germany. I think this is a couple of months ago.
The numbers come from the German Central Bank, who reports industrial production is down 21% since pre-pandemic. Meanwhile, Germany's employment agency reports in the last year alone, Germany lost 446,000 productive jobs. In U.S. terms, that would be nearly 2 million jobs lost. More concerningly, they replaced nearly half of those with 191,000 government workers, so nurses, teachers for migrants, social workers, bureaucrats who run it all. In other words, Germany is going Soviet, deindustrializing at light speed, while increasing the burden on surviving producers who have to pay these salaries of another 191,000 bureaucrats. What's driving it, of course, is Germany's left-wing government wiped out cheap energy with pixie farts and windmills.
Yes, and that's where Carney's going. You remember, Germany came to Canada looking for natural gas. Trudeau said didn't make a good business, wasn't a good business decision to give them liquid natural gas. But this is where Carney's going for his policies right now, hitching his wagon, as I've said a number of times here, to Europe. And Europe's a mess. And to Germany. He was there recently trying to make deals to enrich himself and his friends. Running around Europe, getting nothing accomplished. Should have voted for this guy. Here's Polyev a couple of months ago.
Mr. Carney has been frantically jetting around the world doing photo ops and signing phony declarations that are unenforceable and have no money attached to them. But in 170 days, he doesn't have a single project underway, while $60 billion of investment, Canadian money, has fled our country, mostly to the United States, impoverishing our people and enriching foreign workers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to wake up. You need to wake up. Donald Trump is not the problem here. But you're being told that, and it's going to be used to justify everything that's going wrong in this country. And we've been dealing with this government for over 10 years now. Mark Carney is worse than Justin Trudeau, if you can believe that. Wake up. The Trump Derangement Syndrome has to end. It really does. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Tell me what you think in the comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. And just to prove to you how screwed up this country is, I'm going to end with one more short video. And I'm going to get into it by wishing all my Jewish friends happy Rosh Hashanah.
In this context, Canada recognizes the state of Palestine